All right, we're live. Abby, go ahead and take it away, girl.
Oh, hello, hello. Welcome. Tonight, we are going to be going over Beyond the Bedside. You guys, this is what we are doing to create income outside of healthcare and away from the bedside. And we are so excited to show you how this can be a solution to so many problems that us healthcare workers face on a day-to-day basis in our healthcare careers. Okay, so what?
Sorry, Abby.
You're good. Okay, so we're gonna dive in and just kind of share our stories with you guys, let you get to know us a little bit and understand where we're coming from and just why we are here in front of you tonight. So my name is Abby Howard, and I've been a nurse for 5 years now. And I will say over these 5 years, I have 100% become a PRN princess. The PRN life is I've got to experience it the past 3 years, and I will never go back to full time. There is absolutely no way I will go back to full time, and that's half my battle, or not, I don't want to say battle, but that's half my fuel for why I am like so involved with this wellness business. 2 years after becoming an RN, I was a COVID nurse, and 2 years in, I was done, burnt out, done after just 2 years of being a nurse. And so, right then and there, that's as soon as my contract was up at the time, I went PRN and I never looked back. But over these past 3 years, I've had a season each year where I have to kind of grind down, pick up more shifts, and get things done that I need to get done with. And every single time, it blows my mind how people work like that week after week, month after month, year after year. And I don't know if this is just me because I got a taste of it, but you guys, it is absolute insanity to have to work that much. Whenever I was PRN, I milked it. I worked about 5 days a month if I could, 5 days a month if I could. I'm not even kidding. I did that so many times over these past 3 years. And all the other days of the month, I got to be a human. I got to spend time with my friends. I got to spend time with my family. I got to do things that I like to do. I would go on a bike ride. I'd wake up one day and be like, you know what? Seems like a good day for a bike ride. Let's do it. Or I'd be out in my garden. I would be doing all of these things that gave me life, that gave me joy, that gave me like purpose for being on this planet. You don't get to do that whenever you work full time and you're sacrificing all of your time for a job that is barely getting you by on this planet. And that is just like my main driver for why I'm here. With also being PRN, I've been able to dive into this wellness business opportunity that we're going to go over tonight, and just having the time to work on that plus still being a nurse. It's a nice balance for now, but I will tell you that nursing is not my end goal, and it's something that I've came to terms with over the years. And I tell myself that all the time. I'm like, okay, you don't have to feel bad if you are done with working in healthcare or done with nursing. It can be a season of life that you can move on from. And I say it all the time. I'm like, okay, I did what I wanted to do, and I'm wanting to move on to bigger and better things. And so a year ago, I came into this wellness business, and I can say that I am now a year further into it than I ever would have been had I not said yes to this. And so with that, I'm going to pass it over to Allie and let her tell you guys her story. Oh, I forgot. We'll go over this real quick and then I'll pass it to Allie. What we're going to cover today in this presentation is the path to health and wellness. This wellness business that we are in is like it's top rated products from a top rated company. It's nothing like you've ever seen before whenever it comes to true wealth and true health, all from one company. And we are sharing this with huge enthusiasm because with partnering with the right opportunity, you guys, you get to I also almost want to call this like holistically, like you holistically get to change so many things in your life just with one company. And throughout this presentation, we'll show you how to make it work by generating leads that are actually attracted to the offer And we're going to show you about our amazing mentorship and community, which is the key to success. The community here is massive and everybody wants everybody to win. And it is, if you ever needed a community in your life, this is the one. And we'll go over that. And then we're also going to talk about how you get to leverage automation for efficiency so we can all get the time back that we all want. Okay, this is an income and earnings disclaimer. We cannot guarantee any results that we are discussing tonight. These are all individual results based on individual efforts. Okay, now I'm going to pass it over to Ali.
Right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm super excited to share this with you all. Abby, thank you for sharing your story. It's so amazing. It's so true. Like, I don't know how you guys do it. I don't, especially as a parent. I don't know how y'all are working 40, 50, 60 hours a week and like still having to take care of kids and do this, that, and the other and take care of your households and all of that. Like, it's just the system is not made for us to thrive. So I'm Allie Hoffman. In case of those of you that do not know me, I am a nurse by trade. I've been a nurse for almost 10 years. It's really crazy to say that. I feel like time just flies by. I came from a mostly cardiac ICU background, and I've always been like a healthy person. I thought, and I've always had like a passion for wellness. I've always loved to help people. And pretty much ever since I was younger, I wanted to be a nurse. First, I wanted to be a doctor, and then I wanted to be a nurse. And I had these big plans for myself to go back to school, and that was my plan A, and I didn't have a plan B. Like that was my only plan as I went through and I worked in the ICU for several years. And my plan was to go back to school and to be a CRNA. And I was just so passionate about critical care. And then the pandemic happened and it completely ruined it for me, as it did for many other nurses. Maybe some of you were feeling that as well. You're nodding your head, maybe even getting like the chills go down your spine, me saying that, just because of everything that I witnessed. Not only was I working in the ICU during COVID, I had just started a travel assignment. It was my first travel assignment. I was across the country. I didn't know anybody, I was by myself. And it was really hard, as everybody knows, just everything that we witnessed, everything that we saw and went through. And like it was like probably one of the worst times in my life, to be honest. And yeah, it was just very eye-opening. Does anyone else feel that way? I'm sure like pop in the chat. Like I'm sure a lot of you felt this way about the pandemic as well. I just completely fell out of love with critical care, just to put it that way. And, I actually didn't end up, I was applying to CRNA schools, doing all the prereqs and all the things. I actually didn't get into school. And it was a huge like slap in the face because I was like, oh my gosh, like what am I going to do now? But I did realize quickly though, like how much I just fell out of love with the critical care and like bedside nursing. And I was like, I just can't do this anymore. But I still continued to work as a nurse. I still traveled. I did a couple more travel assignments but I did not do ICU anymore. That's the last time I did ICU. I then moved into like PACU pre-op and that was like a lot better for me. But still, I just, didn't want the schedule anymore. I ended up becoming pregnant, starting a family. I tried to do the whole PRN thing when I went back to work after maternity leave, and I was just like, I can't do this. Like, this isn't it. All I could think about when I was at work was being home. My mind, my heart, and everything was just pulled home. And so I was a stay-at-home mom for a while, went into low ticket network marketing. And, that really was like my foot in the door to get into something like this. I never would have imagined myself doing something like this. If someone told me like 5 years ago that I was going to be doing this, I would be like, you are like off your rocker. There's no way I'm doing something like that. I mean, I didn't even have a Facebook for a while, a good part of like, when I was like the pandemic and all that, I didn't even have a Facebook. So, for someone to tell me you're going to do something on social media, I'd be like, yeah, you're crazy. But I got presented the opportunity in low ticket network marketing. And like I said, it was really my foot in the door to start working on myself. And like it pulled me out of like the postpartum fog that like I'm sure all you mothers understand. And because I also really wanted something to help me to be able to help others. I still wanted to be a present for my family, but I really have always I just love helping people. I love connecting with people. And so, that was like my stepping stone to come here. And so I ended up becoming burnt out in that space. And I actually didn't see very much success there. It's kind of interesting how, like, here I've thrived. And like there, I didn't really see this financial success that I wanted to see. And so, yeah. And so when I saw this opportunity, I was just like, there's no way that I can't do this. Like it would be really silly for me not to capitalize on this. And I was just pulled towards it. And prior to that, I'm tr like trying to tell you all my whole story. I usually try to shorten it, but I feel like it's really important to like share. I had also gone back to work one other time after having my baby. It did the whole part-time thing, and it wasn't a bad job. It was not ICU. It was PACU and pre-op, which like was pretty good. And because I was hired on as PRN, I didn't have to do take call. So I was like, this is like awesome, right? And so, but I'm like, still felt the FOMO. I'd wanted to be there for like, taking my son to school, getting him ready for school. I'd be putting him to bed at night and I would be telling him, like, I'm sorry, honey, mommy's not going to be here when you wake up in the morning. I'll see you later tomorrow whenever I pick you up from school. And like just saying that to him broke my heart because he's like, wait, you're not going to be here because he's used to me being around all the time. So, yes, lo and behold, like I was like, I can't do this anymore. We moved across the country. And I just decided that I'm like, I cannot go back to doing that. And I thought about it. I thought about it. I looked into getting a job where I live now, which is in Florida, and it was a $10 an hour pay cut. So I was like, no, 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 we ain't doing this. This is not going to be worth my time. Like, I've got to just go all into my business and like that's it, like game over. So I'm just going to check the chat really quick. I want to see if anybody is saying anything. Okay, cool. Can you guys see when I put the chat up, by the way? Can you guys see it or no on my
No.
screen? Okay.
No.
All right. So I want you all to stop and think for a minute and let's remember why you're here. Did somebody probably, maybe you saw an ad, you might have seen one of your friends that was posting something about their business and they're like, what are they talking about? Maybe you reached out to them or maybe it just came up in conversation, but just think about like what prompted you to come here and watch this presentation tonight, whether you're here live, you're watching the replay. What prompted you to come here and watch? And I want you to share that with us in the chat. I want to know like what is on your heart that the reason that you're here today. Anybody able to share? More time with your kids. Yeah, totally. Tired of feeling the pull from family and work. Yes. More time that's yours. Exactly. I know. I hear you. I could see how just the working parents totally feel like you're tired of feeling that pull between family and work. Thank you for sharing. So I want you to think about that reason that you're here. And if you're a note taker, you're probably gonna want to continue to take some notes for the slides next. So I want you to write down like why you're here. Why is that reason that you're here? And hold that close to you in your heart, all the way through watching this. And I'd say after too. That's something that's very important to stay close to. Alrighty, this is for you. If you are burnt out from the demands of healthcare, if you're feeling torn between your job and your family and your personal life, like somebody just said in the chat, if you are underpaid for the work that you do, most nurses are, and for the time you trade, you're literally just going to trade your time for a paycheck in return. And so if you're feeling trapped in that rigid schedule, you're tired of asking for time off or being told that you can't have time off to do the things that you want to do, and if you're also passionate about health and wellness. And if you're looking for better work-life balance, flexibility in your schedule and your lifestyle and your finances, if you want to have an opportunity to be compensated what you desire and what you deserve, if you're looking for a personal growth opportunity that healthcare is not going to be able to give you, and if you're looking for a vehicle to be able to help others with their overall wellness and also achieve the overall wellness, and then you're also helping others do the same. We're going to get into that more. So this is a really good quote. Most people find an income stream and then they find a way to enjoy their life in the small pockets of time that they have left, when like really that's completely backwards because we all know that those small pockets of time that we have left from our 9 to 5 or whatever corporate job we have, it's never enough, right? So the key to a successful life is to get clear on your dream life first and then find an income stream that can support your dream life. So you're not working to live, or sorry, you're not living to work. I forget how that goes. But anyways, you guys know what I'm trying to say. Tim Ferriss, it's from Tim Ferriss, A 4 Hour Work Week. I've heard that's a really good book. It's on my list to read personally. All right, so the freedom formula, we want true health, wealth, leverage time, and location flexibility. And having those four is key to be able to have like complete true freedom. And that's something that we're going to get in more in this presentation. So that being said, think about this. I want you to think about this and even write this down if you're a note taker. Write this down. What does freedom mean to you? What does it mean to you? And I want you to pop it in the chat. What does freedom mean to you? I'll tell you what it means to me. It means that I'm not following anybody's schedule. Yes, I follow my family's schedule. That's about it. I'm not having to be at a job when somebody says that I have to be there. I can spend holidays with my family. I can go on vacations when I want to. I don't have to ask for time off. I can buy whatever I want at the store. I can, afford organic groceries. Don't have to worry about the price of something. And, just to be able to go do what I want, whatever I want, whenever I want, and with who I want. That's what freedom means to me. What does it mean to you guys? Anybody want to share? The ability to live life for me, not asking for time off, not feeling bad when my kids are sick. Yes. Not worry about the costs and travel when we want. Yeah, exactly. Just the ability to live life, getting to decide how about your days go. Exactly. Like literally designing your life, right? Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not one that's like, oh my gosh, freedom means to me being able to go and like go to Louis Vuitton and just have like the nicest car ever and just all of this. I like, yes, luxury things are nice, but I'm more so like having the time and like just the flexibility to do whatever I want versus like the luxury stuff. I'm not really so much a materialistic person. It's like wanting to really have the freedom to just do what you want. So thank you all for sharing. Oops. Okay. So another thing that you'll want to, if you're again a note taker, you're going to want to write this down. You can come back to it. You can, pause the video if you're watching the replay, come back to it. If you're on here live, you'll want to come back to this and, do it because we're just going to kind of move through it. But I invite you to look at the items here on the right and to really think about them. How are things in your life right now when it comes to each of these topics? And I want you to rate them with 10 being the highest and you wouldn't change it at all, and obviously one being the lowest. So where are you at with those ones right now? So again, if you're on here live, you can come back to it, maybe just write it down, take a screenshot. And that brings me to ask you, where do you want to be in 12 months from now? Where do you want to be? Do you want to be where you're at right now in the same situation? You want to look back a year from now and be like, dang, like nothing changed, like everything's still the same. Or do you want to make a change? And if that's the case, what needs to change right now for this to happen? For you to have like, achieve your goals in 12 months, what needs to happen right now for you to make those true? So we're going to talk about leveraged income. I had mentioned that term earlier versus linear income. So leveraged income is basically you put in work up front and it'll continue to pay you even though you're not actively working on it. Like 5 years from now, it's going to continue to pay you, not just like a number I'm just throwing out there. It'll continue to pay you versus like linear income. That's what most of us are doing now in a corporate job or, whatever. You're clocking in, you're clocking out. You clock in, you work, you get your paycheck, you go home, you do the same thing. You clock in, you work, you get your paycheck. But like if you were to quit your job or you're to stop working or say like you're out because you're hurt, like bedside nurses, if we get injured, we run out of PTO, we're not going to get paid. So, that's what it is. In other words, once you stop working, your income is going to stop coming in as well. So are you earning leveraged income or linear income? Like I said, most of you all are probably earning linear income, and what we want to be earning is leveraged income. We want to work smarter, not harder. So if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work till you die. And that I feel like is so true, especially nowadays. Warren Buffett is a wise man. All right. So creating your own offer versus affiliating with one like we do. So your own offer, we're just going to kind of look at these side by side here. And your own offer can be a very high investment, upwards of like multiple six figures. You and many other online businesses, you actually have to wear all the hats. You have to do everything and you're doing it alone. It takes a lot of time to build a product and to test it out and to figure out that it works and it's something that people need. It takes 3 to 5 years on average for businesses to actually make profit. And you often are working alone, like I said, and you're having to invest in like those all those masterminds that are going to cost you thousands of dollars. Versus affiliating with one, it's a lower upfront investment. You have access to valuable tools and resources that you can focus on building your business. You partner with a product that people already like know, love, want, and need, and then you can profit in between 3 to 5 sales with the potential to then be generating that leveraged income that we've been talking about. And then also you have the ability to collaborate with people in the community that are like-minded without you having to go and spend thousands of dollars on masterminds. So the leveraged income model that we're talking about here, you partner with an established company, and that is high ticket versus low ticket. And we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. You share their product, you automate your systems so that way they can do the heavy lifting for you and like again, work smarter, not harder. And then you receive your share in commission. Okay, so I love this quote. There's a lot of good quotes in here, you all. So, in order to get your time and money back, you must be willing to invest both time and money to do so. Because if you're not changing it, you're choosing it. But I know a lot of people get kind of scared whenever we talk about investing time, especially money. But if you truly want freedom and like to build a leveraged income and to build something for yourself and your family and your future, you are going to have to, invest some time and some money into it. It's not going to just be handed to you. All right, Abby, take it away.
Hello. Okay. So before we jump into this part, whenever you were talking about leverage time and linear time, I was getting so spicy. I was like, ah. You guys, I was talking to my mom last night, and my mom is 62 years old. She is a nurse, and she's about 3 years out from retiring. And the past, I would say maybe 10 years, she's been a nurse supervisor. And she's talking to me last night, and she's like, Abby, she's like, I cannot keep counting down these years. I cannot keep counting down these months. She's like, I am so ready for retirement. She's like, I just want to feel peace. She said, that's all I want is just to feel peace. She said, you keep working on this business and you get your life how you want to get it, or something along those lines at the end. But you guys, my parents are like one of my biggest supporters in this because my entire life, that is what I grew up learning was you go to school, you go to college, you get a job, you work your job, and then you retire whenever you're 65, and then you enjoy your life. That's what I was preached to my whole life growing up. And then now, like even last night, now I have my parents telling me what they told me their whole life. They take it back. They're like, no, do not do this. This is miserable. They're both stuck, tied to their computers or tied to their jobs, just watching life as it passes by. And they see what this business is doing and they see the opportunity that it has, and they're cheering me on because now they see that this is bigger than working until you're 65 for retirement. The whole concept is absolutely like just insane to me, the work until you're 65. We had a doctor actually at one of our hospitals who had just retired and then passed away from cancer. Retirement is not guaranteed. A life after retirement is not guaranteed, and you cannot bank on that for your happiness. You cannot keep saying to yourself, "Oh, whenever I retire, I'll get to do this when I retire." No, none of that is guaranteed. And more people are waking up to the opportunities that are here now that can get us off that track and onto a better one to live the life that we are meant to live here on this planet. But that's just what I wanted to say about that. And I hope like if your guys's, parents went down the same route, I hope that like if that's what they taught you, that you're able to see that there are other options out there for the success that you want. Okay, so circling back, why we partner with Enagic. So in the beginning of this, I talked about how partnering with Enagic is kind of like a holistic partnership. It encompasses health and wealth. And so that's just what makes it the ultimate offer. They have top rated products. It's a top rated company. And um, Enagic had just celebrated their 50th birthday last year. And this company has a 500-year business plan. So they're out here making waves and they're only 50 years in on this journey. All right, so partnering with Enagic, like I said, they've been around for 50 years now. They just celebrated it last June, their 50th birthday. They are a health and wellness company that produces products that enhance health, build wealth, and protect the environment. Their bread and butter machine is the K8, which produces Kangen water. And the K8 is a water ionizer. And we will get into all the health benefits that ionized water has in a little bit here. On top of it just being ionized water, the machine itself can produce 60 different uses for water for things health related, for around the house. Again, we'll get into all that. The products, if you take care of them properly, can last upward of 20 years. So think about things to invest in. This is something that can last 20 years for you guys if taken care of properly. Uh, Enagic is an award-winning Japanese water technology company. And if you partner with them, then you have opportunity to create an income legacy, which you can will down for 3 generations, and we will also get into that. Okay, so the products that works with are few but powerful. So like I was talking about earlier, the K8 is the bread and butter machine. With it being a water ionizer, so ionized water is basically antioxidant rich hydrogen water. And the K8 can produce other waters ranging from 2.5, which is hypochlorous acid you can use for cleaning and disinfecting, all the way up to 11.5 pH, which is great for degreasing and cleaning off fruits. The Anespa is their home shower spa. So the Anespa is a shower filter, filters out all the nasty stuff out of our water and then adds in minerals. So it's basically like a home spa. You're showering in mineralized, clean water. The M-Guard is a device that protects you from EMF noise. So it's you keep it around in the room that you're working in. You can take it to your bedroom, you can take it to your living room, and it basically creates a protective barrier around you from all of the EMF that are everyday devices that we use. Like I'm sitting here right now, I have my cell phone with me. I have my Fitbit on my wrist, and that's what the M-Guard protects you from, is just all that noise. And then they also have a product called the Ukon, and the Ukon is chemical-free wild turmeric, and there's 3 different ways you can get this product. So you can get it in turmeric capsules, you can get it in soap, or you can get it in tea. And fun fact about the turmeric, it is grown in the Kangen water that the K8 machine produces. Okay, so the type of water that you drink is very important. So water is one of the most important things that you need to think about in your life. And once you realize how important it is, you can't unsee it. So, as human beings, we are made up primarily of water. So, the water that we drink every day, of course, is going to have a massive effect on our bodies and how our bodies work. Chronic dehydration is a massive link to health issues, and you think, okay, the solution to that is just to drink more water. You think it's as simple as that, but it is not, because the type of water that you are drinking plays a massive part. It can actually make things worse for you too. But we'll get into that. So what this K8 machine does, it creates the Kangen water, which is just his patented name for the ionized water, but it takes to ordinary tap water and it transforms it into hydrogen rich antioxidant packed water. And with doing so, oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Allie, can you go to the next slide? Okay, so with doing so, this is kind of the one I wanted to touch on at the top here about, oh, maybe it is not. Let me see. Okay, so I'm gonna touch on the water a little bit more. I think it's the next one. I'm so sorry, Allie. Can you skip to the next one? So, okay, yes, this slide. So in the water that we drink, you think like drinking more water is going to solve the problems to chronic dehydration, but you can actually be doing more harm to yourself than you realize. Whenever you talk about plastic bottles, and bottled water, hopefully you're all aware that it is extremely harmful to be drinking the most of your water out of plastic bottles because all the microplastics are just building up in our bodies. And if you're drinking water out of a tap, it may, be cleaned by these cleaning facilities, but there are leftover chemicals in your tap water. There are metals in your tap water from going through all the pipings, and even leftover medications. If you live like if you're using city water that has a lot of hospital systems, there's even leftover medications in that have been tested in water plants through with the water. Um, there, like chlorine is massive. Whenever I got into all of this and started testing my water, we had so much chlorine in our water, it blew my mind. And so if you think that a solution is filtering your water, the water is cleaner, but it's still not doing you any good because it's just dead water. So at that point, you're just drinking dead filtered water. And the ionizer, the best way I like to describe it is it turns the water into like a live version because of all of the hydrogen that's in it. And then let me see. Allie, can you go to the next one? Okay, so yes, we went over like bottled water. That is not a solution to chronic dehydration. Filtered water, it's a partial solution. It's cleaner, but it's still not the water that has all the health benefits like the ionized Kangen water does. If you use a reverse osmosis system and you are not remineralizing your water, then you are literally stripping your water of everything that it is worth. And then rainwater, I hope you know that that can have a lot of harmful contaminants in it. Spring water, again, can also have a lot of harmful contaminants. And then I hope you guys know not to drink distilled water. Okay. And then on the few slides ago that I had Ali skip over, those are just a lot like just more facts about all of the different products and the health problems that they're tackling. So if you guys, as you're going through this, if you want to go back and screenshot those and go over those on your own time, we're just going to keep this moving this evening. So to finish this part about the water, so it is hydration on a cellular level. And so how this works versus like regular tap water is that it enhances hydration, it reduces oxidative stress, and improves cellular balance. So this water is hydrating you all the way down at the cellular level. It's literally hydrating you from the inside out. So the problem to chronic dehydration can be resolved by drinking more ionized water, not just more any water. All right. And then if can you go to the next one? Thank you. Let's skip this one too. Okay, so more benefits of the KH. So like I said, it produces the ionized water, but then it also produces waters that range from a pH of 2.5 to 11.5. So some examples, the beauty water, it would be a 6.0, so that it acts like a skin astringent. Us ladies, I know we all use astringents. You can use that right on your skin as a toner. And then the picture with the grapes. So that is the 11.5 water. You can clean your fruit and vegetables off with the 11.5 water. And I have personally done this, I mean, obviously, but every time I get done cleaning my fruits and vegetables, the water is like this weird yellowy color from whatever that is sprayed on our produce coming off of that, just from it soaking for a few minutes. Um, and then the strong acidic water, the 2.5, you can use that to disinfect. You can use that, it's hypochlorous acid. And if you are into thing like skincare, there's even I've had people the other day, some of my coworkers were talking about how they were looking at different hypochlorous acids on Amazon, and I was like, hold on. I literally have a machine at my house that produces hypochlorous acid without all the chemicals, without all the whatever else they're putting in on this Amazon stuff. It's just pure hypochlorous acid produced from water, and it can be used to clean bacteria off of your skin. You can do a skin mist, just all kinds of benefits. Okay, this is just more on the health benefits of the water. Yeah, so we're reducing use from single-use plastic bottles as well. And you get a healthy oxidative balance and it saves you money. You guys, one of these K8 machines is equivalent to $1 a day. So for $1 a day, you over a 15-year span, $1 a day for 15 years, and you get all of these health benefits that from this machine, and you're saving on plastic and you're saving on all kinds of household products because this machine can be used for water for cleaning all over the house, even down to laundry. And for $1 a day for 15 years, that's you get all these benefits. I know people that buy a brand new bottle of water a day, and it's dead plastic filled water, and they're spending more. Yeah, and this, like I said, the benefits of this water can replace bottled water, all-purpose cleaner, deodorant, stain remover, all the way down to hand sanitizer. So you're saving money on all these household products as well as gaining massive internal health benefits and massive wealth benefits too, which we will get into next. Okay, so this, if you guys want to screenshot this one, this is just health effects of what we shower in every day. And so talking about the Anespa, like I said, our water at home had a lot of chlorine in it, but after going through Anespa, I retested it and there's no chlorine. So I have the comfort every day of knowing that I am showering in chemical-free, chlorine-free water. And health benefits of the turmeric. If you guys aren't familiar with turmeric, it is a massive powerful anti-inflammatory, and it also has antioxidant properties in it as well. So if you aren't familiar with it, I definitely recommend to add it to your daily regimen. I feel the difference whenever I take my turmeric, especially when it comes to headaches. I don't get, sorry, you can keep it on the next one, Allie. I don't get as many headaches whenever I take my turmeric on the daily. And then, so whenever we are going over the EMF radiations or the EMF, the electromagnetic fields, there have been a lot of chronic studies now with linking EMF to daily exposures on children and how it can cause chronic health issues later to them in life. And then just our day to day too. For people, it can cause anxiety, weakened immunity, and potential long-term health concerns. So it's even though you don't feel it and even though you don't see it, over time, these are damaging to us. Okay, so the solution for that would be our M Guard. And like I said, it's portable. You can take it from room to room throughout your house. All right, and I think Allie takes over right here. Yeah,
Yep.
cool.
All right. Yeah, I just discovered something the other day that I wanted to share about the hypochlorous acid. You really, Abby, you really like educated me on the skincare part of it. But yeah, you guys, it just blows my mind. That was another thing that stood out to me when I first learned about this, like how many uses this machine has. But I just learned this the other day is that the sprays that people get for like their breast pump parts actually have a hypochlorous acid in it. So that's just another thing for the moms out there. Like if you're a mom planning to have kids or whatever, just like another thing that and if you are a mom and you've already had gone through that phase, you know how like that stuff has to be clean, like sterile, right? Because that's going to our babies. So that just goes to show like how powerful and how well the hypochlorous acid works. So I just wanted to add that in there for you guys. So unlocking the true wealth, like what we were talking about with this strategy that we recommend, it will literally unlock your distributor ID and then you will get commissions paid to you immediately when you start. Your own sales to yourself, you end up getting between 4 and 800 back, sometimes even upwards to like $1,200. And it just depends how you get started, what package you get. So your first 5 quad sales, and a quad just means 4 products, it just depends. It doesn't have to be all 4 that are on the screen. It just has to be equate to 4. It could be around $12,500 for your first 5 quad sales. And again, this can range. It just depends on what packages are bought. And then your next 6 quad sales would be about $33,000. And then another on top of that would be $69,000 in commissions if you were to do another 10 on top of that. So, like the commissions here will blow your mind. I'm going to show you guys right now. So look at these numbers, you guys. Oops, went a little too far. My clicker is just kind of touchy today. So you don't have to worry about like don't get focused on like the ranks here. Like these are the ranks because our company has a ranking system, 1A through 6A, and then there's also ranks above that as well. But we really put these here so that way you all can understand what's possible. Like, if you get all the way up to here, look at how much you're earning, and that's just one sale. That's one client coming in. So it's really powerful here. So when we're talking about, I know a lot of you come to us and you're like, I want to make, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. I've heard, $50,000 months. Like it's possible here because the commission structure, it's just they're so generous. Like you're making 4 figures per sale. So making that like, 5 figure month is very, very attainable here, which again, not making an income disclaimer, just showing you all what's possible. And I wanted to also show you these too, because this is what we call our fast track strategies. This would be 5 products, any like combination of 5 products. If someone were to get started, this is what you would earn. And now just keep in mind, you see at the bottom, this is in Australian. I did not have a USD graphic yet. I don't have one yet of these different packages. So I just put the one on here for you all, just so you could see what's possible. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit different. But I think you get the picture here, right? Like look at how beautiful these numbers are. Like what would that type of money like do for your family? Just think about that for a minute. Like earning this type of income, off of just being able to work, online, or even if it was a side gig for you, think about like what 7 grand a month extra could do for you and your family. And then this is even more exciting. This is something that really, really stuck out to me that I think just like was the thing that really made me decide that like I have to do this because our company is so generous that they offer generational wealth. And what that means is that once you get to this rank right here that's circled, it's 6A2-3. Once you get there, you're going to get a $25,000 bonus. And then every single month for the rest of your life, you are going to get $5,000 a month for life. Okay. You could stop working your business and you're still going to get that. And you're not only you are going to get that, but you can will that down to your children. It's willable to 3 generations. You can will it to somebody for whenever you go on. And as a parent, that's huge because I definitely want to feel like I'm leaving something behind for my son and for, any of the other generations to come, that I'm going to be leaving behind a legacy for him, that I will have something to show for. And then he'll know that mom worked really hard to provide that for my family. And I know some people might say like, oh, well, it's really hard to get there. Like not a lot of people will achieve that. And that's not true. There's a lot of people in our company that have been able to achieve this and even above. I think this year we're about to have our first 6A2, but we've got quite a few that are sitting at 6A2-7. And then there's a couple that are very close to 6A2-8. So can you imagine getting an $800,000 bonus? And then getting $80,000 a month for life. And to even put it in a bigger picture, you guys don't have to understand all of this right now and the ranks and everything. This is all just to show you what's possible. But here with this company, you're allowed to have multiple like business centers is what we call it. So imagine that you had 3 of these. You were getting paid all those bonuses and the monthlies for life, I mean, that adds up quick. So can you now like start thinking and imagining like if you were to be making this kind of money, like what would your life look like? What kind of impact could you make? What kind of what charities could you be donating to, or what kind of causes, whatever your dreams are, like what could you be doing with this money? Like it's really eye-opening, like how this opportunity provides, and just, how abundant you can be living, because a lot of people just don't realize that these type of opportunities are out there. So I could go on and on about it because I'm very passionate, but why don't you keep moving? Okay, so we kind of touched on this like very, very briefly earlier in the presentation. We're going to take a look at MLM versus how we create our leveraged income here. So as a person that came from low ticket network marketing and MLM, this is something that like really stuck out to me as well. I know I keep saying that, but like there's a lot of really great things about this opportunity. So traditional MLM, you have to have monthly quotas. You lose your rank if you don't perform. That was like the biggest, like honestly, I should bold this going forward. Like I need to bold that point on here because I was always like hustling at the end of the month. And then it was like, okay, at the first of the month, like you're starting over and you like lost that rank or you lost your points or whatever, whatever. Certain companies are different. And you make like 20 to $150 per sale. That's like nothing, right? Especially now in today's, economy and inflation and everything. So you have to have regular auto ships with most of these MLMs too. And I know I did myself. You have to purchase a certain amount of products every single month to like keep your rank or to keep your volume or your points, however they end up doing it. It's a low ticket commission. You don't have any legacy income, and you're having like licensing fees, or you're having minimums. You're having to sell a minimum amount, and it's very much like a hustle, hustle, hustle recruit type situation. Versus here, there's a leveraged income model, and we don't have any quotas. There's literally no monthly quotas. You can set your own goals and you never lose your rank. That was a really big thing for me because it would just stress me out and I just got so burnt out. And it was like you're on a freaking hamster wheel, trying to hustle, and then you literally just like it gets pulled out from under you like at the first of the month. And here you're making anywhere from $350 all the way up to 4,500 per sale. And sometimes, depending on how your business is structured, sometimes even anywhere but up to like 7 or 8 grand for a quad. So that's huge, you guys. Like, can you imagine just from one transaction making 8 grand? Like, let that sink in. There's optional auto ships here for the growth of your business. It's not required. It's high ticket, obviously, versus low ticket. Like I said, that generational wealth building, which is like a huge, huge point as well. We don't have any licensing or minimums. And then this is more of an attraction marketing thing. Like we're not cold DMing, we're not knocking at people's doors, we're not hosting parties in our home, to try to get like family and friends to buy from us. So you're probably wondering then how the heck does this work then? So we make sales using social media. Like I said, more than likely you came here through social media by somebody you found through an ad or, on just organically and just in conversation with Facebook, connecting and meeting new friends. So we use social media, we educate you, we help you get automate your business, and then we provide, there's duplication that happens there from this process. So you find the offer on Facebook or Instagram or wherever, TikTok, wherever you're at. Maybe you found it even on LinkedIn. You invite people to the free masterclass, just like this one that you're on right now. You would book a call with our team. And then we would help you open up your LLC, which we'll get into in a minute. We'll help you open up an LLC and then invest in your products for your wellness business, that which will unlock your distributor ID, and then you'll launch your business and receive mentorship from our platform community and your mentor that you come in with. Okay, so how and why we automate our sales. So we want to be able to make sales, just kind of what we talked about before in the beginning of the presentation. You want to be able to have something where you can, it's like a round the clock business model, right? Where like your business can be running in the background when you're sleeping, you're out playing, you're on vacation with your family, whatever. So you want to automate it so you can have that time flexibility and have that, things running in the background so you can step away. It's why we have those systems and we provide all that stuff for you. And so we even do have an option of sales calls being done for you. We have a service that we can use for that. They're really great. And when you do come in, when you're new, one of your mentors will be closing around, it's usually around like your first 20 units for you. We definitely don't throw you to the wolves. We want to make sure that you are trained and you know how to do this. So speaking of the training platform, this is our academy. We call it the Academy or the Freedom Era. It's the same thing. They're just used interchangeably. This literally has everything that you need to come in here. and start your business. Like, even if you have zero experience on social media, it's not required. You come in, you plug into this platform. There's literally a step by step, like step one, step two, step three, and like just walks you through it completely. It has all the gaps are filled in there. So you just come in, we can plug you into this, and then you have everything you need to start your business. As you can see, everything here, and so much more. They're constantly adding to this platform, and I honestly can't believe they haven't started charging us more. Like, it really is incredible what they do for us. So another thing that we use is called Unipro, and it's basically a CRM. It's called it, and it also is it includes high level CRM, Go High Level. That is a name of a CRM, and basically what a CRM is, it just helps you keep track of all the people that you're talking to and doing business with. So Unipro has its own community as well, and this is something that really does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. It automatically generates leads from Facebook. This is a Facebook type of software. It does not work with Instagram, at least not yet. It goes in and engages with people on your friends list. There's a custom content planner, like all kinds of stuff in your email campaigns, like you name it. A lot of automatic messages that you can send out. So like you literally set up your stuff, you click a button, and it will like run everything for you. So it does a lot of the heavy lifting in your business tasks for you, which is really cool. So just a little bit of a sneak peek inside of our platform. They do host events throughout the year. One that's really big, they host twice a year, is called Momentum. They have master classes every single month. You know, it's just basically those are trainings, and they've really dialed that in just recently, where they're offering AI training, it's ads, and then sales training. They're doing a training on that every single month. So they're making sure we're all up to date and that we like really know our stuff, and we just have like so many opportunities to improve and to learn, which I really love because as healthcare professionals, we're lifelong learners, you know? So as a TFE member, it's called TFE or the Freedom Era, same thing. All of this is yours for literally less than what you pay every single day to get your Starbucks, right? I know when I was working as a bedside nurse, I was always getting coffee out, and I mean it adds up, right? $6 here, $6 there for a coffee. So this is literally something that like I would not do business without. So we're going to take a look at what the next steps are going to look like for you. So after this call, you're going to go ahead and book a call with whoever invited you here. Book your discovery call. We'll go ahead and send you through what's called the discovery process. So the discovery process allows you to go through a series of videos, and it's almost kind of like a journaling exercise too. That's going to help you get really clear on like what's going on in your life now, like why you even, came to this master class and, got involved in the conversation with whoever invited you, and really help you get clear on what you want your life to look like moving forward, what you need to do in order to make that change. And it's also going to give you further education on the products and how you would get started. There is a little section at the bottom that is optional, that's on the water. They just updated that. So I would recommend going through all of it, even though it's optional, especially as healthcare professionals, the science of the water is very interesting. And then after that, you go through the discovery process, you get on your call. We're going to help you set up your LLC, and we're going to help you, get started with your products, and then help you launch your business. So here's how you would start your business. Like I said, you heard me mention an LLC a couple times. Maybe some of you already have an LLC, and if you do, that's great. You don't need to start a new one. You can, but you don't have to. So you would get your LLC and your EIN. That's basically like your tax number, and then we would have you open up a business credit account. So that way, the nice thing about business credit is when you use business credit, it does not go on your personal profile. So like when you get that inquiry and you're pulling out a business credit card and now you have, however much on your business credit card, it's not showing on your personal profile. So when you go and maybe you want to buy a home, you want to buy a car, like whatever you need a loan for, they're not seeing that on your credit profile, which is really cool. You're using other people's money. That's what we will talk about that a little bit more. We're utilizing other people's money to get started. Like nobody's coming into this just like paying for it out of pocket. And even if you did have that kind of money, we would still say, hey, let's use other people's money, hang on to your cash. And so then we would help you, like again, I said before in the previous slide, then we would help you purchase your products and get started. All right, Abby, I think this is you.
Okay, so another major benefit of becoming like a part of the Enagic community is the community itself. I'm gonna have you go to the next slide, Allie.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. So the community here, like obviously, you have your big Enagic community, and then Allie and me, like this is our like smaller team that we're doing, but like the Enagic community doesn't matter what team you're on, the community itself is just everyone is so like growth driven, positive mindset, things that work, helpful, supportive. It's something I didn't know that I needed in my life. And it's just been very uplifting too, on top of everything else, which I also did not know I needed in my life. All the personal development that comes with it as well. Like everybody should be working on themselves every day, and this place is a very, very good place to do that with people who want to do it with you too. So this is a slide of some testimonials of healthcare professionals inside of our community that have had some major, major successes. Gabby Ventrella said, so she's a mom of three, a firewife, and an ERRN. Her and her husband never saw each other and wanted to grow their family. She came across this business and now they get to do just that. So now she gets to stay at home, take care of her family, and not feel the exhaustion of the hustle and bustle. And then Samantha, she was running a physical therapy clinic, and then again, torn between work and torn between family and her kids. And then she found this opportunity. Now she gets to be present with her family as well. And then Leanne, she was a midwife who was seeking purpose in the hospital system, but found out that that's not where her purpose was meant to be at. It didn't align with her anymore because healthcare is what it is nowadays. And so she found this business, and now she gets to be in control of her life and build her legacy for herself and future family. All right. So to wrap all of this up, we have some fast action exclusive bonuses for you guys. So there's three different chances here for bonuses. Um, like Ali was talking about, in order to get started, you have to take a first step. And the first step is to book a call with whoever invited you here. And for those who book a call within the next 48 hours of seeing this, you get a free gift from us just for booking your call. Your call can be like if you are ready to start right now and you want to hop on this call and figure out how you can start, awesome. Or if you want to hop on a call and just ask a couple more clarifying questions, that is great too. If you book a call, you will get a free gift from us. And then, like I was talking about, like if you're just ready to go, ready to figure out how to start this thing and start growing your business and get you out of the healthcare system, you get free cash back. So for the first five that get started this month, they get cash back bonus from us on top of a free gift as well. And then also to top all that off, for the ones that do start by the end of this month, you get to secure your spot in next month's community mentorship container. And so you guys heard us talking about the community and how amazing and supportive they are, and they just want to see you win. This is the community that is going to be putting on this mentorship, and they are going to 150% set you up for success. So if there was ever a time to get in, right now is the time because you get cashback bonuses and you get a spot in this exclusive mentorship. All right, so another quote to end our opportunity presentation here. There are 7 days in a week, and someday is not one of them. So I know with life, you guys, we're all going through it. We are all living a life. We all have things pop up all the time. And one thing that I have come to terms with years ago is that there's never going to be a perfect time. It's like we have this innate urge to want to have everything settled before we start something new, and that's never going to happen with life. We are humans, things move on, things happen. If there is something that you want to do, you have to just start it, or all of a sudden next week is going to turn into next month, which is going to turn into next year. And then the next thing you know, it's 5 years down the line and you have not made a move. So that's what I just want to say about that. Someday is not one of the 7 days of the week. All right.
Yeah.
So Go ahead.
100%. No, I wanted to add on to that. I heard a quote recently too, a few weeks ago that was like, someday isn't a day on the calendar. It's not. It's just not. And like life isn't going to slow down. Life is going to continue to life, and your excuses, your fears, they cannot be stronger than your why. And that's why, I said in the beginning of this presentation to have that why written down, keep it close to you. And, that's something that we all like really focus on too in this business, is because sometimes it will get hard and you have to focus on that why. So if your why is strong enough, like you'll find a way. And if it's not, you'll find an excuse. But don't be that person. Don't be that person that finds an excuse. And even if you have like questions about this opportunity, if you're like, okay, they said there's an investment, but I'm not really sure, like how much it is and how it can work for me and all of that, get on the call, get on the call with us, go through the discovery process, get all of the information before you rule it out, before you say, oh, well, I can't do this. You won't know until you get on the phone with us, and we are your best source of information. Google's not really your friend. Getting on a call with us is the best source of information that you can have, going through the discovery process so you can really get clear on what you want your life to look like and what your goals are. We don't always just sit down and like think about that stuff every day, right? Because life is busy. So I just wanted to leave you all with that. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. Just book your call. And I'm excited to be able to give out some cash back this month. I'm really excited about that. One person has already claimed that, so I'm excited. Let that next person be you. It's only going to last until there's 5 people or through the end of the month, whatever comes first. And yeah, I'm going to leave you all with that. We're going to stop the recording here in a second, and then we'll see if anybody wants to ask questions. Abby, do you have anything else to add, or are we good?
I do actually have something I want to add. So,
Okay.
um, with you are here, like Ali was saying, like you are here for a reason, right? And you just learned about an amazing opportunity that can be a solution to multiple things in your life. One of the things that I've had many discussions the past couple weeks with people in healthcare is burnout. And I've had some people just say like, oh, like I'm thinking about going back to school, or oh, I'm looking at this other position. And with the school thing, I want to say like that is also an investment in itself with going back to school. And people don't see it like that, but it is something that stays with you. School investment is tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this opportunity is a fraction of that and can get you out of healthcare on top of that. So I just want to add that too, because so many people come looking for a solution, and this is the solution, but you have to see it as an alternative to something that you've been, taught and learned your whole life, like going back to school for more school or transferring to a lateral position. The grass is not always greener on the other side, but the grass is greener in a totally different environment. And so that's what I just wanted to end with that as well.
Yes, I love that. Thank you so much for adding that, because
Yeah.
you know how I feel about that in my path. So yes, it's very true. Something to think about. Go back and rewatch this, you guys. Go back and do those journaling
Mhm.
exercises. And reach out to your sponsor, and we look forward to supporting you all. I'm gonna stop the recording now.